Good. Happy Friday morning, July 16, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Friday off to a good start. So sit back, relax, grab that good cup of coffee, and enjoy this Friday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. Good thing we made it to Friday. Happy TGIF. Let's get started now. First up, misinformation around COVID-19 vaccines. An urgent threat, Surgeon General says. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Nature. It energizes us. That's why Nature Valley restored access to 10,000 miles of trails for everyone to enjoy. So experience the power of nature and take in the outdoors with Nature Valley.
Troubling new headlines on the coronavirus here in the U.S. New cases heading in the wrong direction at an alarming rate. Cases now on the rise in at least 45 states. The Delta variant, of course, driving much of this. Moments ago in California, in L.A. County, where cases and hospitalizations are rising significantly, they have just revealed they will reimpose the mask mandate indoors, even if you're vaccinated. And the dire warning just today from the nation's Surgeon General about what he called the urgent threat of health misinformation, myths and untruths about the vaccines. He says putting American lives at risk. The Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, saying false information on social media and elsewhere is sowing mistrust about vaccines, slowing down the rate of vaccinations. And in places where there are high numbers of unvaccinated, we are seeing cases spike. Across the country, COVID cases have now doubled in just the last 3 weeks, and hospitals say their COVID patients are younger, sicker, and nearly all of them unvaccinated. The concern growing for children younger than 12 who aren't yet eligible for vaccines. Tonight in Utah, for one, they're investigating cases linked to 10 different summer camps in just 1 week. Here in New York City tonight, this evening's Yankees game against the Red Sox has now been postponed after news on the virus and 2 pitchers. And of course, that news from California moments ago, LA County saying they will return to that mask mandate indoors because of the numbers they're seeing there. 184 million Americans have now received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. That's about 65% of people 12 years and older. But authorities are concerned that that is still not enough to stop this Delta variant from spreading and quickly. ABC's Whit Johnson leading us off tonight.
Tonight, the spike in new coronavirus cases across much of this country, fueled by the Delta variant. The CDC says cases are on the rise in at least 45 states. The U.S. back to an average of 1,000 new cases reported every hour. Late today, the mask mandate returning for Los Angeles County. And all of this comes as the new Surgeon General issues his first official advisory, calling misinformation surrounding the pandemic and vaccines an urgent threat in the fight against COVID.
Today, we live in a world where misinformation poses an imminent and insidious threat to our nation's health.
The nation's Dr. Vivek Murthy saying 2/3 of people who are not vaccinated believe common myths about vaccines. He's now calling on social media companies and politicians to take more responsibility.
Every one of us has the power and the responsibility to make a difference in this fight. Lives are depending on it.
This as the nation grapples with the surging Delta variant, now considered more contagious than the previous known variants. Overnight, encouraging news on the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. New peer-reviewed data shows the J&J shot may provide a strong immune response at least 8 months after immunization, and may also offer good protection against the Delta variant. It's also been shown that 2 shots of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines may also be effective against the variant. But tonight, with the pace of new vaccinations now at a crawl, COVID cases in the U.S. doubling in just 3 weeks. In Tennessee, only 38% of residents are fully vaccinated.
It's sadness, it's frustration, it's fear.
The state's now former vaccine chief, Dr. Michelle Fiskus, claimed she was fired after trying to get the word out about teens and vaccines, saying she sent out a memo alerting vaccine providers about a law that allows some teens to get the COVID shot without their parents' permission. Fiskus says state officials then halted outreach on all childhood vaccines, not just the coronavirus.
They are listening to the whispers and the disinformation from the anti-vaccine contingent and repeating Facebook memes.
Tonight, in a statement, the Tennessee Health Department saying while it had not stopped childhood immunizations, it was mindful of hesitancy and the intense national conversation around vaccines. And underscoring the risk facing young people who are unvaccinated, tonight in Utah, health officials are investigating cases linked to 10 different summer camps in just 1 week.
How worried are you about the start of the school year just weeks away?
With the Delta variant coming on, there is some worry about when school starts and how this will shape up.
And tonight, the NFL Network's Rich Eisen trying to get the word out to get your vaccine. Sharing on Instagram he has tested positive despite being fully vaccinated, saying doctors have told him it could have been much worse without the vaccines. Adding, every healthcare professional I've come across the last few days tell me the 2 shots of Pfizer I got in February are what's keeping a 52-year-old like me from a far worse experience than the awful one I'm having. So be careful if you're vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, don't wait another second.
Lee Johnson with us live tonight here in New York, and wait from LA County with this mask mandate to Utah to Tennessee there in your report to New York City this evening. News on the virus in the Yankees-Red Sox game.
David, a number of trends moving in the wrong direction. Major League Baseball making that announcement late today that tonight's game between the Red Sox and Yankees will be postponed after 3 pitchers tested positive. This is just the 8th game so far this year to be postponed due to COVID, but the first since mid-April. David?
All right, Lee Johnson leading us off tonight with thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Former top military official feared Trump would have staged a coup. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Trump responding tonight after that bombshell reporting involving America's top general, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. The new book claiming Milley was concerned former President Trump could stage a coup after losing the election, likening Trump's actions and words to the rise of Nazi power in Germany. Here's our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
In the days after the November election, the nation's top military officer feared Donald Trump would try to stage a coup to stay in power. In their new book, I Alone Can Fix It, Washington Post reporters Phil Rucker and Carol Leonnig write that Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley was so concerned, he called Trump's former National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, and asked, "What the F am I dealing with?" According to the book, as Milley watched Donald Trump speak on January 6th, he saw echoes of Adolf Hitler.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Milley, the author's right, told aides, "This is a Reichstag moment, the gospel of the Fuhrer." That was a reference to the burning down of the German parliament building in 1933 that helped Hitler and the Nazis seize power. General Milley also saw parallels between the Nazis, Trump and his supporters, in the immediate aftermath of the election, when Trump refused to acknowledge he lost.
Frankly, we did win this election.
After a November 10th briefing on a planned pro-Trump protest in Washington, the author's right, Milley said he feared an equivalent of brown shirts in the streets. And after the Capitol riot, he vowed to protect Joe Biden's inauguration, saying, quote, "We're going to put a ring of steel around this city, and the Nazis aren't getting in."
And John, former President Trump now responding tonight to General Milley?
He's put out a statement, David. The statement reads, in part, "I never threatened or spoke about to anyone a coup of our government. So ridiculous. Sorry to inform you, but an election is my form of coup. But David, then it adds this statement, quote, if I was going to do a coup, one of the last people I would want to do it with is General Mark Milley. Those the words of the former president.
John Carl. John, good to have you.
Hi.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Monsoon storms moving into southwest as heat wave fuels wildfires in the west. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Now, the other major news this Thursday night, the dangerous and record-breaking heat, the fourth heat wave now in the west in just 5 weeks. Nearly two-thirds of the west in extreme or exceptional drought. The heat and smoke from wildfires making conditions even worse. And then the flash floods in the southwest. We have remarkable pictures tonight. ABC's Kana Whitworth on the growing concern over climate change and these extremes. She's on the shore of Utah's Great Salt Lake with what they've had to do there tonight.
Tonight, the National Weather Service is warning that the coming heat wave could break more records and fuel more fires, and will definitely bring more triple-digit temperatures. Nearly two-thirds of the West is in exceptional or extreme drought, the highest number since the government started keeping track in 1999. Overnight, those much-needed monsoon rains moving into the southwest seem to do more harm than good. Oh my God! Washing away cars and stranding this family on top of their SUV in Arizona. And we've seen the images, bone-dry lakes that millions need for drinking water. But it's also having a profound effect on agriculture. Montana ranchers Mike and Nancy Ero are worried.
Someday I might wake up and find out I don't have any water for my cows. Maybe they'll dry up.
Food for the cows also scarce, as the hot, dry conditions are optimal for a catastrophic infestation of grasshoppers, taking over their fields, eating 6 times their body weight daily.
They ate 100% of everything.
The USDA predicts this year grasshoppers could devour nearly 35 million acres across the West. And it's possible the worst is yet to come.
So if there's another mild winter in store, what does that mean?
Our cattle won't be here.
And David, here at the Great Salt Lake Marina, officials expect the water levels to drop to historic lows in the coming weeks. You can see behind me, they've had to pull all of the boats out of the water, and they say, David, it could be 2 years before they can go back in.
Just look at the air tonight behind you as well. Kana Whitworth in Salt Lake City. Kana, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now and let's go into the weather. Let's take a look at the weather across the United States for this Friday. As you can see, it is nice and clear along the East Coast. No storms or anything along the East Coast right now, so that is good news there. But as we get towards Indianapolis and all along here, you're seeing band rain and then some rain by Oklahoma City and down in Texas as well. And then mostly dry along here with little sprinkles of rain showers around here and dry over here as well. And that is a look at the weather across the United States for this Friday. Happy Friday. And we're gonna switch gears now. Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn talk about making The Cut Season 2. Let's take a listen to that video right now.
It's been here since December.
You left him that mug of Dunkin' with his cookies that night.
There's no Dunk.
We are excited to bring in our next guest. They are one of the best known duos in entertainment, and now they are back for a second season of their design competition series, Making the Cut. Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum joining us this morning. Wonderful.
Good morning.
We are so thrilled to have you both back here on GMA. Come on, you all have been...
Thank you for having us.
Always, always. It is hard to believe that you all have been working working together for 17 years now. So to borrow,
How lucky am I?
to borrow your
I always
phrase,
say,
Tim.
Matt and I, it's the longest marriage I've ever been in. It's amazing.
I didn't want to
We
go
never
there.
fight.
I didn't want
We
to go
still
there.
love each other.
You said it. How do you all make it work? To use Tim's phrase, how do you make it work?
Well, I have to say, we really do love and adore each other, and we have great respect for each other, and we share so many of the same values. We have our differences. I mean, I will say I think we're fashion's oddest couple, but that's what makes us work, Robin.
Yeah, and we love, the industry that we're in. We still live and breathe fashion, so we do definitely have that in common. And when I think about this, 17 years, my oldest child is now 17 years. I mean, Tim has seen me, not seen me giving birth, but breastfeeding. And I go through all these different phases with all my 4 children. It's been a long ride. It's been a very fun ride, hopefully for many more years to come.
I'm 17 more at least.
Yeah, at least 17 more. And on the first scene of the show, we saw you travel, you and the contestant travel from New York to Paris to Tokyo for inspiration. Well, this season you couldn't travel, so how did that affect the show?
I think everyone was so cooped up for the last year and a half, during the pandemic, that everyone was so excited to even film. Once we got the green light that, hey, we can actually film Making the Cut season 2, we were super excited. So everyone, I guess, was super happy to finally be doing something. And also our designers come from so many different parts of the world. We have someone from Australia, France, Colombia, America. So people are from all over the place, and they already bring so much, from wherever they're from and, what their story is about. So there was definitely not a lack of inspiration there. So yes, it's always fun to travel and go into all these different capitals of the world. But, they are super talented people, and they have the inspiration just, inside of them.
It's true, and we thought if we can't travel the world, we'll bring the world to us, and we did.
Yeah, found the inspiration from within. We're going to take a look at a clip of the show right now. Let's check it out.
This is so crazy.
Tim, I have to tell you, this carnival is so much fun.
Heidi, for me, it's surreal. I feel like a kid again, and in that spirit, I think we should ride the Ferris wheel after the fashion show.
Oh, I would love that. Just you and I?
Absolutely. It's like something out of a romantic comedy.
Love it. We were just so happy to be doing something, period. I have to tell you. I mean, when we saw each other, because, shooting this got pushed and pushed and pushed so many times that when it actually was happening, we were really like kids on a carnival,
You can feel that. You can see that in the clip for sure. We want to take advantage, by the way, of you all being here and your fashion expertise. So we're going to ask you a couple questions, see if some certain trends that are here now are going to stick around. So I'll start with you, Tim. Dad pants.
Oh, absolutely the worst. I'm always saying the more volume the clothes have, the more volume you appear to have. Don't do it.
I love that. That's really good advice. All right, Heidi, you're next. Crop tops.
I feel like if you want to wear it, rock it. I don't always think that there's a right or wrong. Definitely when we're looking for new designs, we always want to look for something that is new and fabulous. But I feel like everyone should be able to wear what they want to wear. So if you want to wear a crop top, go for it. Tim, I want to see you in one.
His face says it all. All right, Tim, puff sleeves.
Well, if you're Heidi Klum, you can do it. But you have to be very careful about the scale and relative to your own proportions. It can be tasty, but it can also be fabulous, as Heidi's demonstrating.
Yes.
Do you like my cuff sleeve?
Yeah, you look amazing in about anything, I imagine, Heidi. What about jean shorts?
I say yes. Also on the jean shorts. I mean, for me, they've kind of gotten a little bit longer. They used to be shorter, but now since there's a second butt, the shorts have gotten a little bit longer.
I agree. No Daisy Dukes.
You two are amazing.
You're adorable. Absolutely adorable. Thank you for bringing the sunshine this morning to GMA. Bless you both. Thank you. Y'all take care. She did say that, right?
Yes.
Season 2 of Making the Cut premieres tomorrow. on Amazon Prime. Well, hey there, GMA.
Okay, there you go. Sounds good. And let's take a look at this. How Massachusetts is reopening in the pandemic. Let's take a look.
It is now time to rise and shine from the Bay State. Magnificent Massachusetts is the latest stop on our cross-country tour as America reopens. And Lara is live in Brimfield right now. One of the biggest antique stops in the world. As we said, Lara, this assignment has your name all over it. Nobody else even thought about putting their name in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm in heaven right now, Robin. And you know what? It's so great to be here to witness firsthand the resurgence of businesses in Massachusetts coming back strong, including right here at Brimfield Flea Market, which thankfully survived the pandemic and now is thriving. And I do believe that has something to do with so many people moving all over the country and looking to furnish their homes in a sustainable way. But before we get to that, I think you guys know that famous incident in Massachusetts involving a lot of tea in the Boston Harbor. Well, why don't you say we spill the tea on what makes the Bay State so special? From the Berkshire Mountains to Boston, Massachusetts is where the Pilgrims landed. 4 of our presidents were born, and it's home to many of our country's firsts. The first public park, Boston Common, opened in 1634. Boston Light, the oldest continually working lighthouse, shining into the sea since 1716. And of course, Harvard, the oldest operating university in our country. And the world-renowned education doesn't stop there. Massachusetts is home to 107 colleges and universities. That's over 400,000 students, bringing their brain power to the Bay State.
I think a lot of people around the world do view Boston and Massachusetts as really the center of higher education in the United States.
Vincent Rougeau, in his first year as the president of Holy Cross, making history as the first black president of the college and the only one who hasn't been a Catholic priest. He says the schools and towns of Massachusetts are thrilled to have students back for in-person learning and living this fall. How bad did it get at Holy Cross and other colleges across the state?
It was very, very disruptive. But, you know, in that disruption, I think we all learned a lot, too, about the importance of community, about how we support one another. We are so excited to have everyone back.
And since school is still over a month away, why not check out Cape Cod? It's a summer getaway where sailing, seafood, and cranberry bogs have been flourishing for more than 200 years. From there, you can catch a ferry to Martha's Vineyard, just 7 miles off the coast. Or 30 miles offshore, check out Nantucket, home to Cisco Brewery, a 26-year-old maker of beer, wine, and its own infused vodkas. Cisco gets over 200,000 visitors a year, creating great memories in their beachy, relaxed setting, co-founded by Wendy Morton Hudson.
Revo had to come because Cisco is the most dog-friendly place.
But that's part of the Cisco magic. You guys love dogs. It's such a happy vibe, so it must feel so good for Massachusetts residents to have you back.
The values of, our company are so similar to kind of Nantucket values in Massachusetts. Respect and acceptance of all people and dogs.
But the pandemic caused them to furlough 90% of their beloved staff.
What was the scariest day for you?
I thought we'd go under, and it's a horrible feeling.
But not only did that not happen, but quite the opposite. Your company is actually bigger now than it's ever been.
We've been busier than ever. We have been opening new locations in New Bedford and Stamford, Connecticut.
Speaking of New Bedford, it was featured in Herman Melville's classic Moby Dick and was an anchor in the 19th century whaling industry. Today, it is the highest grossing fishing port in the U.S. for the 20th consecutive year. And sea scallops keep them on top, making up 84% of the total catch.
I'm the captain of the fishing vessel Legacy, a scallop trawler out of New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Captain Jessica Walker is currently the only woman captain of a scalloping vessel in the New England fishing industry. She says it's been challenging breaking barriers in this male-dominated world.
I got a lot of flack from men who've been fishing their whole lives, but I just worked my butt off.
Earning her way into the wheelhouse, serving as captain for 8 years.
You can't let anything stop you if that's what you want to do, and you can do it. Quite the top shelf.
And she knows a thing or two about shucking a scallop. So the next time you're enjoying some fresh seafood,
This scallop could end up on your plate.
there were scallops on the plate last night. Thank you, Sturbridge Seafood. Business was bustling there, and I have to believe, Robin, it's because so many people have descended on this area to hit the country's largest flea market, where you know you can find something for everyone. Proof positive, I finally found the weapon to fix my neck game. I can't wait to take you guys shopping here. Robin, I mean, are you ready? Best double scheme ever.
Yeah, as long as I'm on your team, I'm doing just fine. I know you probably brought a U-Haul.
Oh, yeah.
On this assignment. You're going to be bringing a lot of stuff back home. Thank you so much. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Rob.
Very cool indeed. And let's switch gears now, and let's go into some entertainment news. In entertainment news, Britney Spears hosts hashtag Free Britney as she celebrates the latest stride in her conservatorship case. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
What time is sunset today?
Today, sunset is at 8:43 p.m.
Take me to the closest tennis court.
Make the most of your game with Google.
What's next for Britney Spears after she dropped the hammer on her father, asking him to be charged with abuse? Welcome, everyone, to the Baha Mar Resort.
I'm just really happy to have Delta Young here with us again. Yeah. You know, Kevin, he was mean to you last time.
We were both terrified
We
of
were
the
so
charge.
scared.
We were both afraid.
We were screaming at the same decibel.
Yes, we were. Listen, we have so much fun ahead with Bellamy, but first, Britney's feeling a lot better now after her tear-filled triumph in court. Britney celebrated her legal victory with cartwheels and horseback riding, and for the first time used the Free Britney hashtag on Instagram. In court, it was Britney versus her father.
We will be moving promptly and aggressively for his removal.
The singer testified, "My dad needs to be removed today."
Who's that?
She claimed the conservatorship denied her basic things like coffee, her driver's license, and hair vitamins. But the attorney for her dad fired back, saying Jamie no longer has control of her day-to-day life. She also claimed Britney made a lot of misstatements. The attorney for Jody Montgomery, Britney's other conservator, said, "I don't think it's a secret that we're dealing with someone with mental illness." Britney says she does not want a psychiatric evaluation. Brit also doubled down on wanting her dad charged with conservator abuse.
I think it would probably be a good idea if the judge did authorize an investigation.
Legal expert Rachel Stockman says there are a lot of unknowns.
The question here, is there a legal thing? I do think that there is more that needs to come out about what exactly happened.
The last time I saw her, it broke my heart.
Backstreet Boy AJ McLean, who is neighbors with Britney, told Andy Cohen Radio he recently bumped into Brit at a cupcake store.
She looked right at me, and I was like, "Hey, it's AJ." And she just kind of had this glass face, like she just didn't know who was there. It took her a minute. We hugged and we talked for a brief moment, but I could just see that, you know, this wasn't her. So again, free Britney. That's my whole thing, man.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report, and that does it for this morning edition of the morning show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the morning show with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll see you back here later on today with more news coverage. Thank you for joining and watching us, everyone. Have a great Friday. Bye.